Hey guys, my name's Axel. I come here representing the Latvian startup GTS, stands for Smart Reverse Vending Systems. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about a different type of token, namely bottles that you deposit and get your money back instead of blockchain. So to bring you a bit of context and in line with my theme of my presentation, sustainability and recycling, I'm going to go a bit over policy documents and then segue that into what it is that we do to bring recycling and sustainability to business. So the European Green Deal, it's a policy document that aims to reconcile the economy with our planet to make it work for our people. Well, it's essentially a climate growth policy document that aims to put at the forefront circular economy. And in two words, what that means is it's a closed-loop economic system that aims to make resources go from producer to retailer to consumer, back to retailer, back to producer, and making this in a loop so that we retain more resources and don't spend and increase our net emissions. So refillables, of course, and reusable packaging are key to tackling this pollution and implementing a circular economy. It is an effective way to cut down on emissions and get to European Union net zero emission targets by 2050, but it's also a logistical roadblock for a lot of private enterprise. This is an example of Coca-Cola phasing out multi-use bottles in 2015 because of the storage costs and logistics costs associated with them. So there's still further ambitious efforts needed. One of the main ways a circular economy materializes are deposit return schemes, which are essentially schemes where retailers purchase products from distributors, paying a bit of a commission on top called deposit, which is then paid by customers who purchase these products, and can get it back by returning these products to either the store or reverse vending machines, which are the ones that we are developing and programming. So this deposit system has been implemented in over 40 jurisdictions up until now, and many more countries are going to be joining it in 2022 and 2023, namely also Latvia, which is why we're trying to jump the gun on this. So the data on deposit return schemes is overwhelmingly positive. 84% of people exposed to them are in favor of expanding these networks. The realities are also a cleaner environment, 40% less beverage containers littered on beaches. But where we are trying to make the market is exactly in the gaps in the system. Namely, in Germany alone, 180 million euros worth of deposit packaging is thrown away every year. And not all types of packaging are included in the deposit system, only certain types of bottles. So the problem that's identified and with the existing deposit return system is we're three guys who have lived and studied abroad and been exposed to this. It's just a hassle to collect bottles in the free part of your whatever kitchen or cupboard, and then just log them over to the store to wait in line with people and then put them in one by one just to get 10 cents back per bottle. This in effect means that low rate of return packaging brings all sorts of different impacts. It's just an ineffective use of natural resources, comes as additional costs to companies and consumers and municipalities who have to clean all that up afterwards. And it's just the degrading quality of environment and living space. So we figured that the solution has to eliminate this need for logistical planning on our lazy consumers' part. It provides more opportunities to return packaging. We need to accept all types of packaging, and we can feed real-time data using tech about waste accumulation in these specific machines that we service, and also supplement IoT infrastructure and such streamlined waste management. So the product we have is mobile. These reverse vending machines that we develop and program can be placed wherever a 4G or 5G connection is. They're battery powered, which means they're independent of the electrical grid. And no transportation on consumers' part is necessary with all the bottles. You just go out of your house, there's a machine over there, you get your deposit back. I'll go into that a little bit, how that works as well. And we also have cloud monitoring, real-time analysis of these machines, so we know when you can go and pick them up and clear them out. So yeah, these can be placed wherever, next to beaches, in festival spaces, residential building courtyards, which are our main thing, and even next to landmarks, like whatever. People come out of Sydney Opera and get their packaging deposited. So the business is actually developed in two different entities, two different LLCs. One is developing and programming the machines for sale to deposit return scheme administrators and public bodies who administer all this program, and also for sale to grocery store chains and waste managers, and also residential building managers. The other entity that we operate right now is a bit more complex system. So, but essentially we operate as a waste management company. We're placed in 5 places in Riga, our capital right now. So the user deposits his packaging. He gets paid back, not in the cash, but in a grocery store credit that he can then go and get discounts for when purchasing. We, however, get the deposit packaging back to the waste managers and get the 10-cent deposit back, which is margin minus our operating costs of logistics. And the packaging that is not included in the deposit system, as in certain types of special beer bottles, we have separate negotiations and agreements with separate manufacturers for returning those bottles at a different price. So essentially, we operate as a waste management company in this part. So the revenue streams are 3 in this case. There's the sale of manufactured machines, which we've brought down the cost of considerably. We know of no other competitor that actually makes these machines so cheaply, and this is on account of us programming this machines using Arduino boards and really accessible and democratic systems. And the other entity operates on the margin that I mentioned before. And with 10 machines, a yearly amount of 25,000 euros of deposited packaging can be returned, which is about 28,000 USD. And plus, we also gather the data from revenue, because each bottle is scanned by a camera that's attached to it and included in our database of returned packaging. So reselling this data to producers and retailers for data analysis is also a revenue stream that we have not yet implemented, but that will be shortly after we finish our negotiations. Up until now, we've done pretty well. We've participated in multiple hackathons, won 3rd place in Estonian Hackathon Garage 48. And we're still a part of our university's business incubator because we use their spaces for developing our machines that we use to... Okay, I'll end pretty soon. But essentially, this is what we use. This is our prototype machine that takes glass bottles. All previous ones take plastic bottles. We have, yeah, as I mentioned, we have now also a working prototype that takes glass bottles. We're collecting from multiple residential buildings in Riga. We have price and collection data of raw materials from waste managers in Latvia. We're onboarding the beer producers, as we said, to our network. And we're placing our machines in regulatory sandboxes for testing them without licensing requirements and everything, while we also apply for ICO certification. Our team are 3 guys, Dance, me, Axel, and Andres. So finance, legal, and a bit of programming, and the main brains behind the operation. Unfortunately, these pretty faces couldn't be here because our country is one of the last ones that are in full lockdown. So last slide. Oh, okay. Yeah, so reach out to us if you're interested in the project. We'll be launching fully pretty soon on the 28th of February. Our country implements the deposit system fully, so we aim to onboard even more networks into our operation. So yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Vasquez.
Yeah, there's a question over there. Please. Mhm.
Sorry, in Germany, hundreds of thousands of people who basically
You've
live
got,
from
you,
collecting
have you got Scaramouche?
these bottles and bringing them to the supermarket and maybe earning 100 euros or 200 euros extra per month to allow them to survive. Now, if you would be taking away from these poor guys their last couple of euros income, wouldn't that be a little bit contradicting to any kind of ESG beliefs that we are all, models that we're looking at in the social part of sustainability?
Well, not necessarily, right? Because the machines aren't going anywhere. There's just going to be more of them, and they're mobile, placed right next to residential building areas. So just the fact that giving our base consumer the option to also take this packaging out closer to his home doesn't really negate the option for the same lower disadvantaged tier of society to also doing the same as well. But honestly, we didn't even come this from a sustainability perspective. We were just lazy college guys, consumers who didn't want to keep a whole mess in the part of our kitchen just to get all this stuff back to the store. We just wanted to take it out right next to our buildings, our dorms. So we thought this was the best way to go about it, and that's it.
Thank you.